Hey, good morning everybody. Ed the Pond Professor here. We are back. We are at Lake Erie Island Nature Center. I love nature centers. I love going to the zoo. I love going to aquariums. That's where I got my inspiration as a young boy many years ago. Led me to my degree in zoology and just my fascination with the natural world. So I love giving back. So working with Greg Wittstock, the pond guy, we have been able to design and build features all over the world, working with some incredible conservationists, passionate animal lovers and things like that. So being able to give something back like this to this nature center is just going to be awesome. We are designing and building an ecosystem pond. Remember last year we were here with COYOTE PETERSON as well as Team Aquascape. We did an indoor feature for turtles. Awesome little feature. Haven't even seen it yet. Renee just arrived. We definitely want to go in and check that thing out. But what I want to do today is I'm going to get ready. We have what we call our Midwest regional event. So we have certified contractors coming in from around the Midwest. They're going to be working side by side with us to create a beautiful ecosystem feature right here on the island that's going to bring in all those really important pollinators, the small amphibians, all these little animals that actually unfortunately get overlooked. Even though we're on an island, we're surrounded by water, we still need these small bodies of fresh water because these are very important habitats for a wide variety of animals. So we want to create a little system here that's going to become educational. I could hear the birds up in the trees, I could hear wildlife all around us. So I want to make sure that we create that desirable habitat. It's going to start out with a beautiful waterfall. It's going to cascade down. We're going to have an incredible biological filtration system that's going to deliver the desired water quality. We also want to make sure that we have the proper circulation, and what I love about it is we're using all native stone. Renee has a lot of contacts from all the years that she's been here on the island. So one of her friends owns an excavating company right here, and if you are digging on an island that is a solid rock, you are going to generate a lot of boulders. So he has been stockpiling these rocks over the years. He's going to bring some of those boulders out for us so we have that native stone to work with, which I love. So the closer we can get to home with all this stuff, the more impact it's going to have. Stay tuned. This is going to be one incredible transformation. I am with Renee. Do you remember her from the last time we were here, Lake Erie Island Nature Center? We did that incredible project with COYOTE PETERSON. Looks phenomenal.
Oh, it does. It's been a huge draw for people here.
And I love the mural you just had done. Oh my gosh.
Oh, she's so talented. It
transforms
really,
everything.
Yeah, just brought the space to life even more.
I love it. I love it. So we have a team showing up any minute. We have to go over the design. Just want to go over everything just to make sure that there aren't any changes. Because once we start digging, we still make changes, but it gets a little bit more difficult. Start over here. We have two structures that are not going to move. One is the propane tank. The other is the existing stairs. What we want to do, and again, it's not really showing the building, but your deck and all that is kind of over here, looking over in this direction. This is all a beautiful canopy of all those trees and everything. So what we want to do is try to lead people across by two ways. One, they're outside, they're going to hear the sound of the waterfall. So we want to draw them in. Once they get closer, they're going to be able to start to see everything, and then we're going to install a bridge, steps, some sort of a pathway going down those staircase so that they have access into that incredible, just that beautiful little woodland area that you have here, which is just awesome. Do stonework, maybe we can get some more logs, something. We just want to try to break up. And the reason I kind of put that in was not only because of that gentle access point going in, but it breaks up all the big boulders going around. So I just want to make sure that we get enough different textures and different types of edge treatments so it doesn't look all exactly the same. So it's more of an, it's a big aesthetic thing as well.
Yeah.
The rocks that you chose, awesome. Like really cool. I love working with native stone. I mean, it just tells the story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited about how much stone we got and the look of it too.
I think we'll probably be in pretty good shape. I'd like to mark everything out, start excavation so we can get ahead of everything before the rest of the team arrives.
All right, that sounds good.
Let's go mark it out.
Let's do it.
I was really happy to see a pile of boulders when we pulled up on the job site. We have had countless projects where we're waiting, unfortunately, for boulder deliveries and things like that. This time, Renee came through for us. She was able to get the boulders here delivered before we actually arrived. So this looks great. Only challenge, this one little one, is some of the boulders are kind of right where our waterfall is going to start, so we're going to have to shuffle them. Easy fix though, so I could move those out of the way, we can get things going. But let me show you what we have going on here. If you remember our drawing and our design, we had that propane tank over there in the back. So that was kind of one of those landmark things that we could see from the nature center. We want to hide that. We don't want to see that over in the background. So we're going to be building up our waterfall right in this area. We're going to take all that excavated soil. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to site balance everything. I want to take all that soil, dig it up, and then I'm going to flop it over on top. And that excavated soil is going to become this big mounded area, which is going to be the start of the waterfall. What I like about that is now we're starting out with a mound of soil several feet tall, and now when we start putting some shrubs and plants on top of that, all of a sudden just a small 3-foot shrub is going to look 6 foot tall because it's planted in an elevated position. That's going to make that propane tank disappear. I want to replicate nature here. I don't want to see infrastructure. I don't want to see pumps. I don't want to see mechanical stuff. I don't want to see signs of human activity. So we're going to have this elevated section over here, cascading waterfalls coming down. Right down over in this section, we're going to install a small wetland filtration system. A little bit overkill for a project of this size, but what I love about it is the biological diversity. If you remember from previous videos, a wetland filter is, we have our snorkeling centipede down at the bottom. This is a water distribution system. We have our layer of AquaBlox that's going to allow that sedimentation process to occur. It's going to evenly distribute the water. Then the water is going to flow up through different grades of riverstone. That riverstone becomes home to all different types of microorganisms and small animals and crustaceans and things like that, which is very important when we're talking about ecosystem ponds, because all of those little things are part of that biodiversity. Nature is obviously, it's perfect. Waste from one animal becomes food for another. So it's all about recycling these nutrients. So by having this system set up properly, we're going to have all these little microorganisms and animals living inside that could feed off of all the nitrogenous waste that's generated from fish waste, as well as leaf debris. Always thinking about maintenance. I'm always thinking about nutrient cycling. So as all that leaf debris falls down, it has to be managed. We're going to skim some of it off with our pre-filter. The rest of it is going to slowly break down, but we have to allow animals to feed on that stuff, which is why we're installing a home for all these microorganisms, so they could start to shred and they could start to decompose all these different things. So that's a very important piece of it. From here, the water then is going to go through a small narrow channel. Right in that little narrow section, I want to set up some sort of a crossing, and that's because we have an existing staircase. This is going down to a lower level here on the property where they can go from the nature center directly into the native woodland areas. So I want to make sure we still have that access point. Then the pond's going to widen out a bit. So what I want to do is we're going to be pulling out some of these sunflowers over here. I would like to get a section of the pond kind of going under the trees. I want to have part of it sunshine, part of it shade. By having these different little micro habitats, it's going to allow us to plant a wide variety of different types of aquatic plants, as well as surrounding terrestrial vegetation that will help to soften, as well as bring in more of those very important animals. We have to pull out a couple of these educational signs. I love this stuff. And they're talking about karst topography and karst geology. I've talked about this stuff before on previous vlogs. That karst geology, basically it's talking about the bedrock. It's talking about limestone specifically. In karst geology, you have lots of caves and fractures and things like that because the limestone is eroded away by rainwater. Rainwater, as it falls down, is slightly acidic. It's going to eat through that limestone, which is calcium carbonate, which is very basic. So now we have this beautiful fine dance of acidity and bases that's actually happening. So it's actually eroding that stuff away, and it's balancing and it's buffering all of that rainwater. Really cool stuff. And if you remember last time we were here, we checked out that really cool geode down the street. So there's some really unique geological features right here on this island. What I love about it, again, we are using all that native stone. We are also going to move this structure right over here because this is right on the edge of our pond. So the pond's going to be stretching out right in this section. This they still want to utilize. It's supposed to mimic a small cave system. It's going to get relocated down below where they actually have some natural limestone outcroppings. Like I said right in the beginning, love working with nature centers, love the educational components and things like that that are associated with it, and this water feature is going to be an incredible addition to a beautiful facility. Getting a little bit of inspiration. I love looking at the native areas, the beach pebbles on the bottom, the big cliffs, the different types of rock, because the stone that we're using is actually coming from the island. This is all dolomitic limestone, so it's a hard limestone. It's going to give us a really cool look. So what we want to do is we want to try to mimic some of this stuff on a smaller scale. So we're going to take these rocks, we're going to layer them in. So this is a little bit crumbly. Unfortunately, this type of stuff does not work well in our application. We want more of this more sedimentary rock, and you can see it's definitely a harder layer. Actually, the dolomitic lime, I don't even see here, but it might be some further way over on that side. But I just want to look at these natural structures, see how they're formed, and then see how we could replicate these things. Rocky cliffs coming down, we are adding in waterfalls. We're going to have a high wall on the back side of the water feature. That's going to help to scale up for all of that soil that we're going to be mounding up from the excavation process. We're going to do our excavation, we're going to dig out the entire pond, we take all of that soil, we build it up on the other end to give us our natural height for the waterfall. So now what we want to do is we want to try to disguise it. I don't just want a big mound of soil, I want to make it look like an old cliff face. So that's going to be our challenge that we have for this project. I am always up for a really cool challenge, and I love getting inspiration just like this from nature.